All right, Jesse, we got a lengthy list here. We're going to
Yep.
start off with Quinton Byfield signing his ELC with the Los Angeles Kings. Biggest news of the week, maybe. I mean, look at this. This is so exciting for him. 3 years on pen and paper. Oh, well, on paper with pen, I should say. And everyone was tweeting about it. So congrats to him. This is such a cool kind of thing to see. And Jesse, I'm curious, how different is it now to just open up Twitter and see news like this when people used to open up the newspaper and see, front page of the sports, whomever signing this, photo of them doing that. How crazy is it that it's just instantaneously on social media now and everyone knows this news and gets to celebrate it together?
I mean, social media has its downside, and I think we've spent a lot of time, we collectively, society, focusing on that. But I gotta say, and I will hammer this point till there's no breath left in my body. I have two little sisters who were born in 97 and 2004. I should know that. Sorry, Cassie. But anyway, I will constantly try and remind them and point out to them, and I'm sure people will get tired of this, but there's silver in my beard, so I get to do it. The world before the internet and before social media was a nightmare if you were a hockey fan in Southern California. I used to read the LA Times sports page cover to cover, desperate for 2 sentences in an article about the Lakers that might actually reference the Kings. If you wanted to know who the NHL point leader was, you had to wait for the LA Times to print the scoring leaderboard, and it would be, on the 3rd page of stats in tiny, tiny print. And yeah, now I can wake up, pull out my phone, and boom, you find out before it happens, right? And with Byfield signing his ELC, it's an inevitable thing that has to happen in order for him to play and hopefully become a star. But it's like packing for a trip, right? There is no trip before you pack. So
right.
even though the packing may not be news, it's the first step. So hopefully, we can look back on this and go, yeah, that was the day that Quinton Byfield officially became a King.
Absolutely. Next up, we've got Edwin Rios from the Dodgers here, strolling into game 2, repping his Kings FaZe Clan collab tee and looking fly. I mean, this is so cool. It just, when you see people from other teams, other sports, especially in the city that you share with them, I mean, how special is that to just be like, oh, that's a nice little nod to the Kings. Look at that.
Well, I can't pull off calling somebody fly, but I'm glad that you can.
For you.
And that was before game 2. Unfortunately, the Dodgers lost. They were tied 1-1 at the time of this taping. Obviously, we're all rooting for the Dodgers. And if they win, it'll be the first time in 32 years that LA has multiple champions in the same year. So obviously, and last time it was 88 with the Lakers and Dodgers. Last time it's happened in North American sports was 2009, Pittsburgh with the Steelers and Penguins. So obviously, we're hoping LA retakes that crown. Go Dodgers.
And if it goes the other way, then another,
Yeah, Tampa and Tampa.
Yeah. But I won't say that. So anyway, hopefully that T-shirt can reverse the curse and maybe become a good luck T-shirt for another game day. Or
that's right.
I don't know, but I hope he doesn't get rid of it because of what happened in game 2. Next up, we've got Jared Anderson-Dolan doing Pilates, showing how much core strength it takes. This is at a facility in Calgary, the Hockey Performance and Recovery Facility. And can you do that? I don't know if I could do it. I can't even think about doing that. That's a lot of core strength, which as a hockey player is just as important as any other type of, I guess, ability that you need, right? Like that is just so crucial to playing the game of hockey, and what a great way to get some core exercise in.
Yeah, and I mentioned at the start of the social media roundup the way that the sort of news distribution cycle has changed. The other thing that's changed is obviously the amount of attention and detail athletes put into their fitness now. I can't imagine 40 years ago there was anybody, Anderson Dolan's age, highly touted prospects in any team doing this kind of work, paying as much attention to they do as their fitness. I mean, it's really impressive, and you hope that it shows up in those, those 50-50 moments in the middle of a game where, where you have to dig deep and show off that strength. So good for him.
Absolutely. Next up, we've got Blake Bolden, LA Kings scout. She's tweeting in support of Girls Hockey Weekend in North America and is just posting this awesome photo This girl's got some new goalie gear. Everybody loves fresh new gear. That's amazing that she's out there and supporting this, and so awesome seeing all the tweets throughout the weekend. And LA Kings PR actually tweeted about the Kings committing $20,000 to the Power Project, which is an organization focused on providing guidance to girls from underserved communities. So it was a big weekend for Girls Hockey Weekend in North America, Jesse, and so cool to see Blake out there supporting. And she actually is going to be working with the Power Project, started working with them over the summer. So it'll be nice to see how she kind of develops her role within the Power Project and what more of a difference she can make than what's already happening. It's just going to be awesome to see, and I'm super excited for it.
I know the next entry in the social media roundup is sort of linked, so I'm going to hold my thoughts till we see both of those.
Oh, yeah. Let's just pile on the love here for Girls Hockey Weekend in North America with Secret. The Professional Women's Hockey Players Association actually tweeted and announced that Secret donated $1 million to fund their Dream Gap Tour in 2021. And it was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, donations that a company had made to something like this for women's hockey. And the Dream Gap Tour sounds so freaking cool, Jesse. We're going to have to catch one of these showcases. It's 125 of the top players in this sport, and they're playing 6 showcase events and competing for the first ever Secret Cup. So this is literally going to be the coolest thing in 2021. If I'm being real here, like, this is so freaking cool to look forward to, and something that we're definitely going to have to catch live if possible. And just all around awesome, great news coming out of this weekend celebrating women's hockey.
I tend to use hockey as a filter through which I experience the rest of the world and like normal, human emotions. When I was younger, I had a very standoffish attitude when I would hear conversations about growing the game.
Yeah.
And my attitude was always, listen, as long as I can get 70-something games on Fox Sports West, as long as I can watch the LA Kings play their games, why do I care about growing the game or people that can't? I would just say, why do I care? Like, it's not that I had a negative reaction to it. I just, why do I care? Why do I care? Why do I care? And the older I've gotten and the more I look back and realize that whether it was the Gretzky trade to LA or Jack Kent Cook or Bruce McNall, I can't remember which one of them it was that first had the idea to put games on cable and to start literally growing the game. Without those things, I wouldn't enjoy watching the Kings, on TV, or now live in person. I was one of the few incredibly fortunate enough people to actually get to work for the team. And so now I look at it and I go, I get to watch every Kings game that's scheduled, but then there's still 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, if they don't make the playoffs, where there's no hockey for me to watch. And I have found at different times in my life, found myself watching the roller hockey, college hockey. Sometimes I found myself walking down the street, and if I'm happen to walk past a rink, an outdoor rink where there's people watching, I'll stop and I'll watch it because I just want to watch hockey. So if this is an opportunity to grow the women's game to the point where we can get a franchise in LA that could actually give hockey fans an opportunity to watch more hockey, I don't understand why we wouldn't take every opportunity to try and make that happen. And like I said with the Byfield contract, signing the ELC is the first step towards him hopefully someday becoming a Hall of Fame, incredible player. Doing something like this for really not much money in the grand scheme of things, if you take a look at these companies that are donating, the amounts of money, but life-changing money, industry-changing money to the people who receive it. I mean, like I said, I think it's kind of a shame that it's taken us this long to get there, and I really hope it pays off. I mean, more hockey for everybody. It should be the goal, and I'm annoyed that it took me this late in my life to get to that point. So good for everybody.
I agree with you, Jesse. Good for everybody on this one. And what you were just talking about with what Secret is doing this next year, paired with the Power Project, thinking of two things like that kind of working cohesively with one another, it's planting the seeds to keep the grass growing. You have to water it. And it's just, when you put the money behind something, you'll see the return. And I feel like this is only going to create more hockey fans and keep this sport alive and thriving and continue to grow it. And it's just so important. So I'm glad like you said, people are seeing the importance of this, and I have no doubt it's going to create so many opportunities for the women who play the game at that highest level already, and for the young girls who are just looking up to these women and going, oh, wait, what? I can do that in my future? Heck yeah, that's so awesome. It's just a win-win for everybody in this sport.